Atlanta coach Sam Arnold and Miami coach Herman Caicedo will watch their squads battle until the very end. Come check it out and experience a new way of boxing filled with multiple fighters squaring off in action-packed 3-minute rounds.
We are ready for the weekend in South Florida, and it's week 6 of Team Boxing League coming to you from the Sunshine State, Fort Lauderdale to be exact, as the Miami Assassins play host to the Atlanta Attack. And we welcome you inside our Team Boxing League studios alongside the Hall of Famer Al Bernstein. I'm Justin Shackle. Miami, Atlanta, second meeting between these two teams here this season. A rematch where Miami won, though the final score didn't indicate how close this one truly was. That came a little over 2 weeks ago. This is also a matchup, Al, of two teams that have a lot of fighters who are racking up points in the first half of this season.
Yeah, that's for sure, Justin. You know, part of the team's success is when you can get fighters to produce multiple points in a round. And Atlanta has two fighters who definitely can do that. First of all, there's Money Powell, who is just that money for Atlanta. This stoppage of Shamar Baxter really helped them get a win in week 2. And he's also now moved up to cruiserweight to help his team. And you'll see him at that weight here tonight. And then there's Ariel Davis. She makes the most of all of her bouts, like she did here when she knocked out Jenny Smith. She now has 24 wins in the TBL. Amazing.
Yeah, she'll be a 2-round fighter tonight. As for Miami, racking up points, we'll look no further than this trio, a combined 8-0. Yasniel Napolis is in for 2 rounds tonight. Giovanni Estella seems to be adapting nicely with his new TBL team for 2026, and Esther Santana at heavyweight off to a 2-0 start, as well as Miami tries to go to 3-0. Well, we know how it works here. The launch rounds are first, rounds 1 through 8, and as far as rounds to watch, second round, Victor Abreu, a pretty accomplished fighter for the Miami Assassins, going up against a relatively unknown fighter making his TBL debut tonight in Ray Robinson for Atlanta.
Yeah, that's for sure. And, you know, Miami often calls upon Victor Abreu and slots him into that number 2 slot because they know with his aggression, he's going to get them off to a good start. And I'm sure Sam Arnold and the Atlanta coaches have warned Robinson, you are going to face some real pressure right from the opening bell.
Well, we go inside the venue at Fort Lauderdale. Newest member of our team, Avril Matthew with Herman Caicedo.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Herman, the coach of Miami Assassins. Herman, Miami Assassins are at the top of the leaderboard for the first time in the TBL. How does that feel, and what do you attribute to their success this year?
Wow, that's great news and surprise. We work hard, that's for one. There's continuity in what we do as a unit, you know, even outside of TBL yearly. The majority of the guys, 80–90% of them, are trained by me, and they're my fighters. So it kind of makes that part of it a little bit easier, knowing what you have and what you expect from your fighters. Being number 1, that's cool. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, congratulations. And do you feel like it's a psychological advantage to be at the top, or do you feel a lot more pressure because all the other teams are clearly going to be bringing their A game?
Well, yeah, we would want everyone to bring their A game. We always bring our A game. I think maybe it's psychologically easier to be chasing the top than it is to be at the top. Coming from, you know, just traditional boxing and having world champions and training world champions, you know, they're all coming for you. So yes, you're right. There is I think a little bit more of a psychological disadvantage to be, you know, the one. But, you know, it is fun while you're there, absolutely.
Thank you. Well, as a Miami girl, I am rooting for you guys tonight. Sorry, Atlanta. And all the best.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Amber.
Well, Herman's trying to get his squad to 3-0, trying to become the first TBL team to do so in the process. When we come back, we'll meet the fighters, and we'll have the launch rounds. Round number 1 coming up. Miami and Atlanta squaring it up next.
There's nothing like it, man. It's great.
Fighting for a team is awesome. I grew up playing team sports. Boxing is individual sport, but the concept of TCL makes it fun being a team sport now.
My city feel good. It's the best part of all the time that you me. Anything happening right now, so you gotta be quick. Gotta get a knockout fast. When you go in the ring, you go alone. But with the team behind your back, man, it makes a big difference. Especially when you guys all want to win, all want the same goal. We all push each other to win everything.
I gained brothers and sisters for life.
Team means accountability. Team means trust. Team means faith.
Team Boxing League is brought to you by Balance of Nature, and boxing consistency beats intensity. Balance of Nature supplements help you stay consistent with ingredients of whole foods you can easily slot into your daily routine. Go to balanceofnature.com, use code TEAM, and start today. Miami and Atlanta getting ready to go in Fort Lauderdale. Let's go inside the ring with Ray Flores.
Welcome to the next chapter of high-impact, non-stop action. This is Team Boxing League, where every round matters and every fighter leaves it all in the ring. Every moment of TBL season airs live on MSG Networks and Envoy TV, with Spanish language coverage available on Estrella TV. Fans can also stream the action on YouTube or access it through the Team Boxing League app on Apple TV 4K, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, LG and Samsung Smart TVs, as well as iPhone and Android devices. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the War Memorial here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. As we would like to thank Executive Director Tim Shipman and the Florida Athletic Commission for hosting tonight's Week 6 matchup between the visiting Atlanta Attack and your hometown Miami Assassins. We'd like to thank our fine sponsors, Climax Moonshine Fire number 32, Balance of Nature, and Serenity Springs Recovery Center. And now, TBL fans, let's welcome the visiting Atlanta Attack.
So Atlanta entering the venue here at 1-1, coming off that loss against Miami a couple of weeks ago. We're going to find out something extra here about Atlanta because they blew out their initial opponent, Al, 27-12. They lost to Miami. We're going to see which version shows up here in the rematch.
Yeah, and you made the point that that was a very close match up until the final fight of the evening, the round of the evening. So they have a couple of new faces that we're going to look at that may help try and push them over the top.
The head coach of the Atlanta Attack, the steam trainer, Sam Arnold. Former California State Golden Gloves and national champion featherweight, Kaylee Ann Knight. Featherweight, Ray Robinson. Lightweight, Desmond Lyons. Welterweight, Doug Dress, Doug Robinson. U.S. Army veteran, super welterweight, Amin Mitchell. Middleweight, DeAndre Pettis. Super middleweight, Raul Garcia. Former two-time national champion, Texas State champion, and WBC Continental USA champion, heavyweight Samuel Clarkson. Featherweight Alyssa Bolts. Lightweight Jeremy Hill. Super lightweight Ariella Davis. Welterweight Javon Wolf Davis. Light heavyweight Raquel Brown. Multi-time USA National Champion and former Team USA member, Great Money Powell. And heavyweight Devon Young. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the Atlanta Attack. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome your hometown Miami Assassins.
Ramirreco, más música, pincha de ron, cha-cha-cha-chan, el bárbaro del rebato, cara vemos, corazones no sabemos, vengan todos contra mí que aquí lo espero, más puerco que el mismo puerco que comemos, aquí la cabeza solo nos papelos, soy mi propio jefe, mi propia inversión, soy mi propio business, soy mi inspiración, mi mayor orgullo, mi mejor canción, soy adicto a mí, mi propia adicción. Mi mejor versión, hacer eso yo mismo. Soy mi propia meta, yo soy mi algoritmo, yo soy la faceta en otro mecanismo. Y creo que te confundiste, creo que te equivocaste. Hacer te la comiste, mi mano apretaste. Oye, que coge la cuchara para sacarle los empates. Y ahora tú te quedas, oye, te quedaste. Dice. El peor en esto ya está demostrado. Lo que yo respeto para ser respetado. Ustedes son mis nietos a todos les criados. Ya estate quieto para no hacer teao. Y pa' Carla de Jeva, eso no viene al caso. Soy científico en mía, por arriba el brazo. Duro por la costilla, matado piñazo. Échate por poco, cocotazo. Y creo que te confundiste, creo que te equivocaste. Hacerte la comiste, mi mano apretaste. Oye, que coge la cuchara para sacarle los empates. Y ahora tú te quedas, oye, te quedaste. Mira, soy lo que se lleva, lo que se usa. Lo mismo en la Ana que en la USA. Porque la varilla no destiñe. La varilla no se tome luz y mando gata. Ay, ¿pa' qué la varilla qué? Y como dice, mira. Y creo que te confundiste, creo que te equivocaste. Hacerte la comiste, mi mano apretaste. Oye, que coge la cuchara para sacarle los empates. Y ahora tú te quedas, oye, te quedaste. Dice.
Dímelo, Bobby.
The head coach of the Miami Assassins, world-renowned trainer, Mr. Herman Caicedo. And now the lineups for the Miami Assassins. Featherweight, Samantha Ginathan. Featherweight, Victor Abreu. Lightweight, Yustiel Napoles. Welterweight, Esturia Suero. Super welterweight, Yoelis Molina. Middleweight, Giovanni Estella. Super middleweight, Yusmel Ruiz. Heavyweight, Alonzo Neal. Featherweight, Samantha Sosa. Former Olympian and WBA IBO featherweight champion, lightweight, Claudio the Matrix Moreno. Super lightweight, Sophia Veretti. Welterweight, Darius the Hawk Jackson. Light heavyweight, Isaac Carbonell. Two-time light heavyweight title challenger, Uneski the Monster Gonzalez. And heavyweight, Nestor Santana. Ladies and gentlemen, this are the Miami Assassins. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you all please rise if you're able to for the singing of our national anthem being performed tonight by Ernest Gonder III.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming in the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Ernest Gonder III with the singing of our national anthem. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to begin the launch rounds here with Week 6 of Team Boxing League between Atlanta and Miami. We begin in the featherweight division. For the Atlanta Attack, Kaylee and Knight. For the Miami Assassins, Samantha Ginnathan.
So we're set to go for round one. A pair of featherweights, Kaylee and Knight, Samantha Ginnathan. Miami coming in, trying to improve to 3-0. And for the second time, beat the Atlanta Attack as they look for their second win of the season. Glad to have you with us. Justin Shackle, Al Bernstein, Avril Matthew with you. And we are underway in Fort Lauderdale.
Good matchup to start this off. Both women coming off wins. A win by Ginnathan against Elisa Bolts, and Kaylee Ann Knight, who's 2-1 this season with a knockout win over Ali Faye when the last time these two teams met.
Taking a look at the resume for Samantha Ginnathan, 35 years of age, two-time Golden Glove national champ. Out of Las Cruces, New Mexico. Now lives and trains in Houston. Going up against Knight, 26 years of age, coming out of Sausalito, California, just north of San Francisco. A couple early on.
Knight has a really good right hand, and you just saw that a moment ago. She's going to really be trying to get that punch in here, and that was a punch that hurt Valle and helped knock her out. Ginnathan is a really good technician, and with all her amateur career, you know, Golden Gloves champ, she really brings that to the table.
Two women landing with one another at the same time moments ago. Ginnathan possessing a long reach. You see it with that extended jab.
Kaylee Ann Knight, you could just feel her pawing with that jab. She just knows that right hand has to get there, or she needs it to get there within this 3-minute period. She's making an effort to do that, but Ginnathan's a very good boxer at range.
Already 2/3 of the way through the first round. Can Knight find a path for that right hand before the first round ends. These two are scheduled for just one round tonight. They could be on standby in case we need any overtime with swing rounds. But this is it. They want to leave this impression in round number 1.
And even though Ginnathan has controlled the geography of this match, she hasn't really landed a lot either. So it's a tricky one here for the judges in some ways, Justin.
Inside the final 30 seconds of the first.
If you can hang your hat on anything, it would probably be the Ginnathan jab that has been the one scoring punch in this round.
Perhaps a right hand countered for Knight. We could leave one final impression on the judges if she can land. Hasn't been able to do so, though, this entire round. And that'll do it. And we'll see if that jab from Ginnathan will stick.
Yeah, well, there was a lot of talking between the two, so from a debate standpoint, it was heated.
So we'll await the judges' scorecards as we take a look at the action from round number 1.
Yeah, Ginnathan on the outside, we mentioned kind of controlling the geography of the match. And using the jab. There's an example of Knight trying to get in with that right hand, and she just couldn't quite do it. And Samantha Ginnathan seems very confident at this moment.
Team Boxing League fans, the winner of round 1 by way of unanimous decision from the Miami Assassin, Samantha Ginnathan. Round 2 in the featherweight division for Atlanta, Ray Robinson. For Miami, Victor Abreu.
So this was our round to watch out. Round number 2, Abreu versus Robinson. And right away, we're seeing why we chose it, because it looks like an early chance for Miami to put up multiple points after Ginnathan takes round 1. Abreu, a polished TBL fighter, and Robinson, just a relative unknown making his TBL debut.
Yeah, and only 2-0 in professional boxing beyond TBL. So he's not, although he had a solid amateur career, and he does bring his lefty style into this matchup. But as we mentioned, Abreu is in the second slot because he likes to bring the heat, and I hope he can do that.
19-10 record, 3 KOs in his TBL career. Abreu this season 3-1. Didn't face Robinson, obviously, a couple of weeks ago. He beat Marcel Bruner on April the 19th when these two teams clashed.
Yeah, very solid performance, twice beating Marcel. And, see Abreu trying to come in with the overhand right, that's his thing. But we can see early from Ray Robinson, he came into this fight with a very specific plan to fight from the outside and be busy with the jab and even some straight lefts. But Abreu able to sneak in some rights as well.
A couple have landed over the last few sequences. Feels like Abreu going up against a really tall 126-pounder. Robinson's 5'10". Right now he's trying to just measure the distance.
Yeah, that is tall for that weight division. And he's using his height and reach pretty effectively, Robinson. But Abreu's able to sneak in some punches. We're used to Abreu actually closing that distance. He hasn't done that yet.
Oh, there's the right hand! Abreu tells Robinson, welcome to Team Boxing League. Second round knockdown for Miami. They're going to let him continue with a little over a minute to go, but that right hand, Al, that is cocked and loaded.
And there's a little over a minute left for Victor Abreu to make it a 4-pointer. And Miami is no stranger to that, as we pointed out at the beginning of the show. And Robinson has to get off those ropes. Abreu eats you up there.
Big wind-up right, followed by the uppercut. Robinson trying to shake it off and fight back. But about 45 seconds to go in the second round. I find it interesting, only after the knockdown do we see Victor Abreu pay a little attention to the body out.
Yeah, and he is a very good body puncher. It's a good point, but he hasn't gone there much yet. But that one right hand changed the dynamic of this round.
Left hook landing moments ago from Abreu.
In our previous fight, we saw a right-hander not able to get the right hand in against the left-hander. In this match, we have seen it. Ray Robinson doing a very good job of hanging in there, though, after being hurt with a lot of time left in the round.
So Victor Abreu exerting his bite and picking up extra points for Miami. Looks like he has his 20th TBL win in the bag on top of all that.
Well, here's how he got to that 2-point mark. Robinson had done a pretty good job of not getting hit with the right hand, but then in the middle of this round, Abreu with kind of it was a straight right. Sometimes he throws an overhand right, not that time. Beautiful straight right hand.
Team Boxing League fans, the winner of round 2 by way of unanimous decision. 2 points going to Miami's Victor Abreu. Round 3 at lightweight for Atlanta, Desmond Lyons. For Miami, Napoles.
So Atlanta, as you see Desmond Lyons enter the ring, already trailing 3-0. And this could get dangerous quickly because Lauderdale Napoles has been a true point gatherer, if you will, for the Assassins. Has 8 points as he's off to a 4-0 start.
Yeah, he did beat Lyons in week 4, and it was a very close fight, close round. So the Lyons hopes he can do better and get over and get a decision win here.
Taking a look at Lauderdale Napoles, who made his TBL debut last May. He's caught some rhythm. Overall, 7-2 with 1 stoppage in his TBL career. Lives in Miami, originally from Cuba. You could say that about a number of these Miami Assassin fighters.
Definite Cuban influence. You can't start off much better in the season than Napoles has. Largely using the right hand as a major weapon.
Meanwhile, 27 years of age out of South Carolina. 11-3 in traditional boxing as a couple of knockouts. Ironically, his last fight, it came against a fellow TBL fighter, Diego Dominguez of Los Angeles. That was back in February. A 6-round win for Lyons.
Yeah, there's often intermingling where you'll see someone and face them in the other part of boxing from the TBL. Napoles, you see him from range. He's very good using the jab to set up the right hand. He's a free swinger, that's for sure.
Left uppercut, looks like it slipped through the guard for Napoles. And those two punching with one another at close range.
Lyons has a good left hook, and you saw a moment ago, he tried to get that punch in. If he's going to do some really good offensive work, I think that punch is going to be a key to him in the remaining part of this round. You see him trying to use it right there.
Countered with a left hook from Napoles. Inside a minute to go. Miami already up 3-0.
And you get the feeling Napoles feels like he's controlled this round to the point where he can be more, a little more cautious and just do enough offensive work. Whether that's the case remains to be seen.
You could get a burst here from Desmond Lyons over the final 15 seconds, and it could change the way the judges see this round, because maybe Napoles has a reason to believe that he's winning the round, but it is pretty close.
Yeah, it's certainly not by any stretch a runaway. And now it's actually Napoles, though, who probably did the better work in the last portion of that round. We'll see. Desmond Lyons, you know, he's got the great check left hook. He just couldn't quite get it there in this fight.
Team Boxing League fans, the winner of round 3 by way of split decision. From the Miami Assassins, Houston Annapolis. Round 4 at welterweight, Atlanta, Doctress Robinson. Miami, Estudio Suero.
So it's been all Miami so far over the first 3 rounds. A unanimous decision, a split decision, some extra points. And now we move on to welterweight. Estudio Suero for Miami. Doctress Robinson going for Atlanta. Meanwhile, Giovanni Estella, who we will see in a couple of rounds, is standing by with a former bantamweight contender, our newest member of our broadcast team, Avril Matthew. Avril?
Thanks, guys. Giovanni, hi. Last time I saw you was a few years ago in the gym here in Miami, and you were undefeated at the time. Since then, you took some really tough fights and a couple of losses, and then you came to the TBL. You've had a bunch of wins here, a lot of experience, and in your most recent fight, you're back to winning ways. How do you feel that the TBL has helped you with your experience and getting back to that?
I feel like the TBL has brought a lot of experience to a lot of fighters that maybe they don't have that in the pros, and they're getting this in a very fast way, in a one-round experience with another team, with a lot of other professionals. So I think this is the perfect experience getter for any pro fighter that wants to excel in pro boxing.
I have to agree with you there. I think it's super awesome. And last time against Atlanta, you got a KO against your opponent. Congratulations. And that was a pivotal moment for Miami that turned it around because you were losing at that point, and then you ended up winning the whole tournament. Miami did. Tonight, Miami's already in the lead. Your fight's coming up. What are you going to do to ensure a good fight tonight?
I want to go into every fight the same way I went into the last 2, but we want to win at all costs. So whether I win by points or whether I win by knockout, I want to win. So I just want to put my team one step closer to that goal.
Awesome. Well, good luck tonight.
Thank you so much, Avril. Estella going up against DeAndre Pettis, coming up in round number 6. Here, just over a minute to go between Doctress Robinson, Estudio Suero.
Suero's hand speed has been a problem for Robinson so far. And Suero, who the last time these two teams met, lost the decision to Morgan Griggy, a tall left-hander, has found this style a little bit more to his liking, and Robinson making his season 4 debut.
Yeah, these two will be in for 2 rounds. If we're tied at the end of 24, they're scheduled for one of the swing rounds. But as it stands right now, they have the ability to empty the bag for this 1 round here in the launch round phase.
Suero's been a lot busier in this 3-minute period, and that may be a deciding factor, although there has been some good offense from Robinson.
Robinson went 6-10 for Atlanta last year. 9-13 overall in his TBL career. 3rd-year member.
He's a veteran of TBL. Trying to shake off the rust here in his first performance in this season.
We'll see if Suero did enough to continue this shutout thus far for the Miami Assassins.
Suero was able to move his hands a lot in this fight. Now, see the counter left hook by Robinson? That was his main weapon in this match. Suero from the outside was able to put his punches together, not everything landing, but it was flashy enough that it could have affected the judges.
Team Boxing League fans, the winner of round 4 by way of unanimous decision. From the Miami Assassins, Estudio Suero.
Well, Suero picks up a unanimous decision, and the Miami Assassins hot out of the gate here on a Friday night in South Florida. Already up 5-0 against Atlanta. We'll be back with more here in the lunch rounds.
Well, look at Eamon Mitchell coming.
Fort Lauderdale. Round 5 on the way.
Friday night in Fort Lauderdale, and the Miami Assassins have jumped out to a 5-0 lead over the Atlanta Attack. Let's get set for round 5. Go back inside the ring with Ray Flores.
Round 5 begins at super welterweight. For the Atlanta Attack, Mitchell. The Miami Assassins have Yoelis Molina.
So Mitchell and Molina meet here in the launch rounds. Round number 5. They will also be scheduled for the 24th and final round of this matchup.
And if you're Sam Arnold, you like the idea that Eamon Mitchell is coming out at this juncture when you're trying to stem the tide. He's 3-0 this season and had a 4-point win over Jackson. So Darius Jackson. So he's a solid fighter.
Molina pumping that jab early for Miami, countered with a right hook from Mitchell.
Over Harold Jackson, I should say.
Again, they met on April 19th. Mitchell took the round. Molina 7-2 in his TBL career after doing pretty well in 2025. 22-year-old Cuban, originally from Guantanamo. Molina finding a home with that left hand.
Yeah, 2 lefties, which is, semi-rare in boxing, and both men are having a little bit of success with that style.
About midway through round number 5, either puncher has really landed something effective, and as I say it, the left hand comes over the top from Molina. That was pretty.
Yeah, probably the best punch of the round. Mitchell took it well, but it's obviously a scoring punch.
I think he was just waiting for our cue.
Exactly.
Plenty of noise being made in the corrals for both teams.
When they last fought, Mitchell was just a little busier than he's been here in this match. And that, I think, sometimes can just be the deciding factor in these quick one-round matches. When they last fought, it looked like Molina was just having a tough time getting out of the blocks. Not so today.
So despite his team winning in the head-to-head score, again, Miami took it over Atlanta 20-14 back on April 19th. A fighter like Yoelis Molina has had a sit on a loss against his opponent for a couple of weeks. And it looks like he may have redeemed himself with his performance here in the 5th.
And he went to school on what happened in that last match. And that happens, as you know, being a TBL veteran many times in this. That's a 22-year-old with a lot of potential. Molina.
At welterweight and junior middleweight.
And this is where Molina was able to get in a really nice left hand, which did get in from time to time for him. And good counter left there by Mitchell. He had his moments. Were they enough?
Team Boxing League fans, the winner of round 5 by way of split decision. From Miami, Yoelis Molina. Round 6 at middleweight. For Atlanta, DeAndre Pettis. For Miami, Giovanni Estella.
So the shutout so far continues for Miami. They've taken the first 5 rounds. They're up 6-zip. It's Pettis and Estella, who you heard a few moments ago with Avro Matthew, at 160 pounds. Pettis, his second season, 31 years of age. Giovanni Estella, meanwhile, in his second season. As you take a look at some Team Boxing League leaders when it comes to net points per round, Estella, Miami heavyweight Nestor Santana right there at the top.
Yeah, Estella's made the most out of only 2 fights, beating Ray Talib and had him down, and then that 4-pointer against Deshaun Prater. So he's made the most of his appearances.
2-0 to start 2026 after winning his round in last year's Mega Brawl for NYC. He joined at Miami here for the 2026 season.
Pretty good addition.
He caught fire like a lot of those attitude fighters did in the TBL postseason. So you see, for middleweight, he has a 75-inch reach out.
Yeah, that's considerable.
Jab coming in. Estella jabs to the body.
With Estella, you always feel like he's on the verge of landing some kind of power punch. You know, he's got power really in both hands. Pettis is on a 3-fight losing streak in the TBL. He wants to change that, but there's some of that power from Estella. Is the hook landing?
A left counter from Pettis, who was with Phoenix last year. 5-9 in his TBL career. Former high school football player, took up boxing at age 20 after learning that his late father also boxed. And he ended up winning the South Carolina Golden Gloves.
Yeah, solid pro at age 31.
Watch your head. Final 40, there's that left counter again from Pettis.
Yeah, that's the big weapon he's going to try. It would work for him in this fight, and has from time to time when Estella attacks a little bit less than carefully.
One of the closer rounds here in the launch phase between Miami and Atlanta.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of splits, but this one definitely also a close one.
The round concludes.
So the question for the judges, did they like the countering that DeAndre Pettis was able to use in spots, or the initiating of action by Estella? And there's an example of the countering, a right hand by Pettis, and then Estella continuing the attack, gets a right hand in, works the body a little bit, but there's that left and right from Pettis as a counterpunch. So that's part of what you alluded to in terms of how close this round was.
Team Boxing League fans, the winner of round 6 by way of unanimous decision. Miami Assassins, Giovanni Estella. Round 7 at super middleweight. For Atlanta, Raul Ilazer Garcia. Miami, Yusmel Ruiz.
So Garcia and Ruiz in round 7. They'll meet again in round 17. Estella improving to 3-0 now on the season after increasing Miami's lead to 7-0 as we begin round 7.
Now, Raul Garcia, a very, very good, solid pro who had a Fight of the Year candidate against Vlad Hernandez. He is a very, very big punching, solid fighter, and is an addition to this team that they're hoping will make a difference. And boy, this would be the time to do it, wouldn't it?
He fought once on June 14th of last year. That was his only round of TBL action. It was a split decision defeat to Boston Steven Sumter at the time, so he returns to action tonight as a member of the attack. 37-year-old Dominican native.
And Ruiz, who lost twice against Atlanta, but against Keandra Leatherwood in their Week 4 encounter. Would like to get a win here tonight. Garcia's fought very tough competition in the professional ranks beyond team boxing, so he's got a wealth of experience behind him, but when you get in there for that 3-minute section, sometimes that doesn't always equate.
He started his traditional boxing career 12-0. He's coming off a loss a little less than a month ago against Francisco Verón for a WBC regional title.
Again, fighting a very tough competitor who's at a high level. And normally, you know, he fights lower. He usually fights at 154, 160. He's up at 168 tonight. So it's another thing we see in team boxing a lot of times. People jumping up weights. We're going to see Money Powell fight at cruiserweight again later tonight.
That's something that really has jumped out at me, Al. It's not so much fighters just, yes, going up, moving around. This isn't, you know, lightweight jumping up to super lightweight. We're seeing a lot of fighters jump divisions where there's a lot of pounds in between.
Yeah, boy, you're totally right about that. And that's been fascinating, you know, doing this. And these guys are now picking up the pace. We're starting to see some of that back and forth that we see in Garcia fights. But, you know, Ruiz is initiating a lot of the action and pushing Garcia back. Not a place Raul Garcia likes to be. He's not a fighter that retreats much.
Ruiz, the aggressor, inside the final 20 seconds of round 7. It's been all Miami so far. They're up 7-0, trying to improve to 3-0 as a team.
And, you know, I think this was one of those ones where Sam Darnold might have been looking and penciling in the possibility of Garcia winning this because he is such an accomplished pro outside of TBL. And Ruiz had, you know, had lost to Leatherwood twice. And now here's some of the action, though. Ruiz using the jab effectively from the outside. There you see that punch and the right hand getting in. So from the outside, Ruiz, big, tall 26-year-old, did a pretty good job.
Team Boxing League fans, the winner of round 7 by way of split decision from the Atlanta Attack, Raul Eleazar Garcia. Our final launch round will be in the heavyweight division. Atlanta, Samuel Clarkson. Miami, Alonzo Neal.
So maybe the first surprise of the night.
Yeah.
Raul Garcia comes away with the victory there. Atlanta gets on the board. It's now 7-1. And it comes down to the 8th and final round here in the launch rounds. Couple of heavyweights. Clarkson in the red trunks, who's coming out guns a-blazing against Alonzo Neal, and Clarkson finding some lands with that right hand early on.
Alonzo Neal, a newcomer to TBL, a heavyweight who has been in lots of exciting fights, and he's in one now.
These two gentlemen not wasting any time. With a busy night of work, 2 rounds against different fighters. Clarkson, meanwhile, made his TBL debut last year, started 4-0. He's got 2-2 to begin this season. And Clarkson at heavyweight, 22-7-1 in traditional boxing with 15 KOs. Been in the ring with names like Dimitri Bivol, Jesse Hart. Developed a reputation as being a firecracker in the ring, and he's lived up to it here in the 8th round tonight.
Yeah, he really has. And Neal, who's a very good body puncher, even got a knockout against Max Da Silva with a body punch, hasn't been in position to throw that very much. And the hand speed of Clarkson, I think, has really surprised him, or at least hampered him in this match.
We're about halfway through this round, and I think a big question that Neal is going to have to answer over the final half of this round is if he can keep up with the motor of Samuel Clarkson. Seeing the outsizes him with height.
Yeah, Alonzo Neal is used to being the aggressor and walking people down. He has sparred with top heavyweights like Zili Zhang, the great Chinese fighter. And you see him kind of picking up the pace a little bit now as this round has worn on.
And as it's worn on, Clarkson may have slowed down in pace, but he's still landing some kicks.
Yeah, he is. There's the inside work by Neal, a place where he's pretty good, even though he's a big, tall heavyweight.
So can Atlanta pick off the final 2 rounds here in the launch round phase? Yes, another land, a beautiful jab uppercut sort of punch from Clarkson, and he capitalizes again with a straight left. And now, Al, a lot of these punches are landing here from Clarkson.
And they're good power punches. And yeah, Clarkson is capable of really good hand speed at heavyweight, and he's showing it. He and Neal have put on a heck of a round here.
This has been the most entertaining round. 2 big men connecting at a high rate. Round 8 concludes. A good scrap between Clarkson and Neal to close out the launch rounds.
Well, a memorable opening match in the TBL for Alonzo Neal. And right at the beginning, it was Samuel Clarkson who came out blazing. Combinations to the body and the head, and Neal responding. But most of the really good offensive work was done by Clarkson, especially early in the round and even in the final moments of that round. There was a little portion in between where Neal was able to be effective, but Clarkson landed some big ones toward the end.
Team Boxing League fans, the winner of round 8 by way of unanimous decision from the Atlanta Attack, Samuel Clarkson. At the end of the launch rounds, Miami leads Atlanta 7-2. The middle rounds are on the way.
So a great start for the Miami Assassins, and it started when Victor Brehu knocked down Ray Robinson. It was exciting, but we have the middle round still to come. And what's to come in team boxing? Justin will tell you.
Thanks so much, Al. Plenty more action to come between Atlanta and Miami tonight, but the ring is just heating up for this weekend. On May 2nd, Stacia Suttles and the unbeaten Philadelphia Smoke take on Lasha Gergliani and the New York City Attitude in an East Coast showdown at 7 Eastern. Then on May 3rd, we have a Texas-sized rematch as the Dallas Enforcers with Mola Oceandairo traveling to Houston to take on Jaden Alpaw and the Houston Hitmen at 8 Eastern. Houston's looking for its first win since June of 2024. Don't miss a minute of the action right here on TBL Team Boxing League.
here next Friday and Saturday, May 8 and 9. Phoenix and Las Vegas next Friday, and Boston against Miami next Saturday, May 9th. Bell time at 7 o'clock. TeamBoxingLeague.com for ticket information and be a part of the fastest growing combat sport on the planet.
The sun's setting in South Florida as we get our action going here. Kicking off week 6 in Fort Lauderdale. The Miami Assassins ahead after 8 rounds over the Atlanta Attack 7-2. We welcome you back inside our TBL studios. Justin and Al with you. I tell you what, Al, first 6 rounds, obviously, Miami pushing Atlanta around, but the big boys near the end of the launch rounds, they showed that Atlanta will still have a say in this fight by the end of the night.
Yeah, a huge beginning by Miami, racing through those first 6 fights, showing lots of ability and flashes of power as well that added on a point.
Let's take a look at the action and some of the highlight rounds from the launch rounds. We begin with round number 2. We talked about this round, Al, look, mainly because it looked like a mismatch on paper, and it was a mismatch in the ring.
Yeah, you know, Robinson had early good moments, but then Victor Abreu, the pressure fighter who they put early on so he could do just that, and he got a 2-point win. But there was the comeback, the mini comeback by Atlanta toward the end of the launch rounds, and that was when newcomer Alonzo Neal faced a determined Samuel Clarkson, who the 35-year-old came out blazing early in the round, and after just a little bit of good work by Neal in the middle, it was Clarkson at the end winning a decision.
And the second straight round won by Atlanta to close out the launch round. So it's 7-2 as it stands right now going into the middle rounds. And I tell you what we're going to see in the middle rounds, I think, pound for pound, the best super lightweight woman fighter going in TBL right now. Ariel Davis is in action.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right about that. Ariel Davis in round 12, which is our round to watch at 140 pounds, we're taking on Sofia Veretti, who she has beaten before. She beat her twice in week 4. Ariel Davis now 24 wins in team boxing. She has won every match this year and this season, and of course we saw that she has great point production in those wins.
Yeah, she could bring Atlanta even closer in this one. Miami's ahead by 5 as we start the middle rounds. We go back inside the ring with Ray Flores.
Ladies and gentlemen, we begin the middle rounds between Atlanta and Miami. At featherweight for Atlanta, Alyssa Bolts. For Miami, Samantha Sosa.
So Atlanta's won 2 straight, and we'll see if Alyssa Bolts can continue that for the Attack. She's going up against Samantha Sosa. Bolts 4-12 in her TBL career, second-year fighter, and off to a 1-1 start. Sosa, meanwhile, 0-2 so far.
Yeah, Sosa faced Jasmine Hampton. It was a tough 2 matches for her in week 4 against a very accomplished amateur champion in Hampton. But Sosa, who had a good amateur career herself, in the second match against Hampton, started to come on a little bit, Justin, and she improved during that. And Bolt, a good distance fighter who's able to use the jab and the straight right hand.
can see those long arms on Alyssa Bolts, 33 years of age. Sosa won the Florida Golden Gloves as an amateur, just 22 years of age, so an 11-year gap between these two fighters. Bolts has the height advantage with Sosa in the white fight kit.
When Alyssa Bolts can keep things at range, she has done better in her TBL career. And that's what she's attempting to do here against Sosa.
Miami up 7-2 in the head-to-head score. These two teams terrific when we talk about compiling points. Miami right at the top of the standings, and you can catch all of the stats, everything you need to know. League standings, match results, team and fighter statistics, all season long. It's going to be on TBLstats.com, a great resource for us and fans out there.
And that's a fun element because the team part of it is intriguing, seeing who's really producing for their team. Bolts does not have a lot of, Sosa and Bolts, they're not big power punchers, but they both have pretty good right hands, and their Sosa on cue shows us.
1-2 combo connected for Samantha Sosa. Another one from the Miami native.
That was what she showed in the second fight against Jasmine Hampton in week 4. A couple of right hands are hurting Bolts.
Bolts not throwing too much back. And the power being amplified here by Samantha Sosa. Less than a minute to go in round 9. Talked about her winning the Florida Golden Gloves as an amateur round. In her victory in that final, the referee actually had to stop the fight after 3 standing 10 counts. So she has the power pedigree.
Yeah, she does. And I remember watching that video as you did, and that was impressive by her. And right now she's showing it. She's landing some good power shots like that left hook that really are taking their toll on Bolts.
Stretching it to a 3-punch combo, now a 4-punch combo, and those are pretty punches landed by Sosa. Well, she got comfortable as the time came off the clock, and Sosa putting Miami in solid position to start off the middle rounds with an exclamation point.
Well, the momentum that she had, even in losing to Jasmine Hampton in their second fight in week 4, continued here tonight against Bolts, because she was able to use her right hand, use good combinations, use the jab to set things up, and good hand speed, and showing some of that amateur pedigree.
Team Boxing League fans, the winner of round 9 by way of unanimous decision. From the Miami Assassin, Samantha Sosa. Round 10 at featherweight. Atlanta, Ray Robinson. Miami, Victor Abreu.
Well, Ray Robinson getting back into the ring after he was knocked down in it in round number 2. Victor Abreu giving Miami an early jolt with some extra points. Big reason why they are up by 6 over Atlanta.
And that first match between them was a match of 2 halves. The first half, Robinson was able to do a fairly good job of using distance and landing from the outside, and then that right hand from Abreu that knocked him down changed everything, and Abreu's pressure got to him in the latter part of the round.
Abreu staying patient at the start of this round.
You know, Abreu is normally not a monstrous power puncher in the pro ranks, though he does have knockdowns like he got in the last round, or knockouts. But he fights like a knockout fighter. You know, he's always pressuring, he's always coming forward.
He's just sort of stalking his prey at the moment.
He had this posture in the beginning of the first match between them, and then toward the middle of the round is when he picked things up with that right hand.
Robinson staying active with that jab, only to maybe keep Abreu at distance. Cincinnati native trying to avoid being swept here in South Florida tonight.
And that low left hand, especially when he jabs, languishes out there a little bit for Robinson.
There is speed in the jab of Victor Abreu. He's got to be careful. Robinson also out looking fairly tight over the first half in just terms of his body language. His feet are apart.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And I think some of that comes from what happened in that first round.
How could it not, right?
Yeah, that they fought each other. And there was a nice right hand by Abreu. And before that activity there, they both tumble.
We go from boxing to wrestling, back to boxing.
Sometimes when boxers come into the TBL, they just get a tough matchup, you know, and I think that's happening to Ray Robinson here. There are other fighters he might do a little better against in the TBL, but when you're starting out against Abreu, it's not easy. And we underestimate Abreu's jab. You know, he's used it a lot. You referenced it. He's used that a lot in this round.
Also, the team aspect in all of this. You're Ray Robinson. You're making your debut. You're joining a new team. You're trying to ingratiate yourself with your peers, your teammates. You don't want to give up extra points in a round either.
And there was the question for him, how aggressive do I get in this round? I've been knocked down by Abreu, and then we see a little bit of a gash on the right eye also of Ray Robinson. Now, that was certainly a much closer round than their first encounter. Whether Robinson did enough to win remains to be seen.
Team Boxing League fans, the winner of round 10 by way of unanimous decision from the Miami Assassins, Victor Abreu. Round 11 at lightweight, Atlanta, Jeremy Hill. Miami, Claudio Marrero.
So for the first time tonight, an intriguing matchup in round 11. Jeremy Hill and Claudio Marrero as Miami takes a 9-2 lead after Victor Abreu sweeps the 2 rounds with Ray Robinson. But this is Jeremy Hill making his TBL debut tonight. But it is not his first turn around the block in the sweet science.
No, that's for sure. Hill had a tremendous fight against Malik Montgomery, very good lightweight. He's fought against Ray Mateo, who is a world champion, and Nahir Albright. He's been in against very good professionals, and he's not going to be an easy challenge for Marrero, who, of course, has been in with superb fighters during his long career at age 37.
The world title holder. WBA Featherweight World Championship around his waist at one point. 2-2 so far to start the season, after dropping only 2 rounds in all of 2025.
Yeah, he had a great stretch during that period, and it helped him pad that nice record that he has in the TBL.
Losses so far this year, they've come against Jack Sambiaku and Malik Clark.
Hill looks like he's he's normally a little busier than this. I mean, Jeremy Hill, in those matches like the one with Montgomery, he was very busy. Marrero, though, has a way of doing that to fighters. He got that good, slick left-handed style. He's a good defensive fighter, and sometimes he'll freeze fighters.
Known as a crafty fighter. Earned the nickname The Matrix, did Marrero.
Yeah, I think in the dictionary next to Crafty, they could have his picture. There's the right hand from Hill. It's a good punch for him. He's got a good left hook as well. Obviously a very tactical round. So as we always point out in these cases, some outbursts from one fighter could make the difference.
So a little bit later on in the money rounds, you're going to have Claudio Marrero in round number 20 against Desmond Lyons. Hill is going to go in round 21 against Yusgil Napolis. And you wonder if each fighter is going to open up a little bit more against a different opponent.
Yeah, and they probably will need to. Certainly Hill will, for sure.
Both fighters, and maybe even more for Jeremy Hill, prescribing to the cautious angle in this round.
Yeah, if somebody was watching Jeremy Hill just based on this round, they would probably call me a liar for saying he had a brilliant battle that was a war with Malik Montgomery, but trust me, he did. But it just took him a little time to get off the snide here, and we'll see if he'll do more in the second round. Now, there's a nice left hook by him, and I mentioned he has a good left hook. And let's be honest, Claudio Marrero didn't do a lot of offensive work himself in that round.
It'll be interesting to see how the judges score.
Team Boxing League fans, the winner of round 11 by way of split decision from the Atlanta Tech, Jeremy Hill.
So the slow start to 2026 continues for Marrero. Now 2-3, and Hill wins his debut.
At super lightweight, Atlanta, Ariel Davis, Miami, Sofia Ferretti.
Well, now this could be a mark in this head-to-head battle where if Atlanta is able to close up some space, it could happen here with Ariel Davis coming off the heels of Hill's win. We'll see what Davis can do against Sofia Ferretti.
Yeah, they've fought twice before, and Ferretti has shown a lot of toughness and will, and some good work from the outside, but Davis has been able to counteract that and win twice against her.
Davis 24-3 in her TBL career.
Yeah, 14-1 in season 3, so that demonstrates just how special she is as a college basketball player, a terrific athlete, supported the University of New Orleans, and just an all-around superb athlete.
Good ring IQ, utilizes the long reach she has. Puts together combos cleanly. Right hand lands over the left guard of Ferretti. We talked about it heading into the middle rounds. You know, super lightweight's a tough division for the women to kind of fill out in Team Boxing League, and that's when you have one, you want to hold on to her. Think about San Antonio with Latia Williams, a relative newcomer. But Ariel Davis has shown that she right now is in a position all by herself at 140 pounds.
Yeah, that's absolutely true, though Williams is certainly a potential foe for her and a potential rivalry there. But right now, Ariel Davis can have her way with most of the 140-pounders in the TBL. And she's gotten in the right hand, despite the height advantage of Ferretti, and maybe a little reach as well. Davis has not had a hard time sneaking that right hand in and does it there again. Ariel Davis fights, even in these one-round matches, she has a way of fighting at the right pace. That is, she still gets a lot of work done, but does it at her own pace. And the body work she's mixed in has been effective as well.
She is certainly controlling the pace here in round number 12. And Atlanta needs some points to get back into this. They trail by 6. This can change quickly we saw when these teams met the first time a couple of weeks ago, going into round 24, it was only a 2-point advantage for Miami. They were able to pick up an extra 4 points on the stoppage at the very end, and that made it look like it was out of reach.
Yeah, Napoli cemented the victory with that knockout, but we're looking at right here what could be helpful for Atlanta with a win here, likely win by Ariel Davis following that split decision win by Jeremy Hill. So they've had their little mini comebacks, Atlanta has, and the overhand right that we talked about from Ariel Davis, very, very good there. And using the jab perfectly to set up that right hand. You know, that jab didn't land. It was blocked well by Sofia Veretti, but the right hand behind it did not get blocked.
Team Boxing League fans, the winner of round 12 by way of unanimous decision from the Atlanta Attack, Ariel Davis.
2 straight rounds won by the Atlanta Attack. They've cut the Miami lead down to 5 here in South Florida. We'll take a break and come back with more of the middle rounds. It's Miami 9 and Atlanta 4 here in the middle rounds. Time for round 13. Back to Ray Flores.
Round 13 at welterweight for Atlanta, Javon Davis. For Miami, Darius Jackson.
And these two fighters split the last time they faced each other in week 4, and Davis was able to get a split decision in the second one, but both of those matches are closely contested.
So Javon Davis, Darius Jackson clashing for round number 13. Miami up 9-4. And as we get underway here in the 13th round, let's go back to Avril, who's ringside with a special guest.
He's just waiting on you, Wolf. He's just trying to wait. There you go. There you go.
I'm here with Devin from the Atlanta Attack. Devin is 9-1 as a pro. All his wins, except for 2, have come by knockout. Devin, with the Atlanta Attack behind on points tonight, what kind of pressure does that put on you, and what's your game plan going into your rounds tonight?
There's no pressure on me. I came here to do a job, and that's what I'm going to do when I get in the ring. I'm looking to knock my opponents out if they can't stand the paint with me.
And you're going to be fighting twice tonight against 2 different opponents. Only 3 rounds break in between. Do you feel like it's an advantage or a disadvantage to have such a short time between the rounds?
It's definitely going to be an advantage. I'll be already warmed up and ready to go, and it's time to go.
Awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing it, and good luck to you tonight. Guys, take us back in the ring.
Thanks so much, Avril. Yeah, Devin Young in round 16, then he's back in action in round 19. You figure, what, about 3-4 minutes for you and I out to kind of spiel a little bit in the studio. So, yeah, about 15-minute intermission there from Devin Young, so he's right. He stays hot. Quick turnaround could benefit the fighter.
Yeah, and that's always a question you think about when that happens. Davis, the big, tall lefty who, Darius Jackson, I should say, who is trying to use that effectively for him.
22 years of age, already his 4th season.
He's 10-0 as a pro outside of TBL, but you know Davis is also undefeated 8-0-1 in his pro career, and every one of those wins outside of TBL has come by knockout. So he's got some pop, and he just landed a nice left right hand there.
I like that. While Jackson was kind of holding on.
Yeah.
Two fighters that have had success in traditional boxing, and that's going to be a knockdown. The knee of Davis tasting the canvas, or perhaps his glove. We'll see it later on the replay, but Jackson picks up a big knockdown here for Miami.
Yeah, flash knockdown, but a knockdown nonetheless. And Davis coming back, trying to show that he wasn't hurt, and he's attacking.
And Davis goes to the floor, but that's not a knockdown. Hunt from behind. And the round ends. Davis says, get away from me.
Yeah, I don't really want to congratulate you right now. Well, there's no question about that being a knockdown. Good straight left hand. The glove hits the canvas, and the referee is correct. You have to call that a knockdown.
About as clean of a flash knockdown as you get.
Yeah, right. The very definition of it.
Boxing League fans, the winner of round 13 by way of unanimous decision. 2 points going to Miami's Darius Jackson. Round 14 at light heavyweight for Atlanta, Raquel Brown. They'll meet from Miami, Isaac Carbonell.
Raquel Brown making his 2026 debut, and for 2 rounds here against Carbonell, who is his most experienced TBL opponent to date. Carbonell 24-9-1 in Team Boxing League.
Yeah, he's got a very good record, and he split against DeAndre Pettis, who won a split decision. He's 2-1 this season. That was in week 4 when they last faced Miami.
Carbonell had a great 2025 season for New York City. He won 2 rounds in the Mega Brawl over Philly's Ray Robinson. Beat his now teammate Ismael Ruiz twice in the semifinals. So, like Giovanni Estella, Carbonell coming down, joining the Miami Assassins for 2026.
And he's got wins over Jesse Hart and Ronald Ellis in the TBL, so he's beaten some of the top people for sure.
Miami ended the regular season as the final team in the TBL postseason. They had a chance to strengthen their seeding, but lost their final regular season bout. A very attainable fight that could have gone either way, but they did drop it, and it forced them to settle for a lower seed. And either way, they faced the would-be champs, New York City.
Yeah, and they're making strides like they want to make sure they keep a good seed. And I'll tell you what, this light heavyweight matchup has produced a lot of action here. Carbonell has pushed the pace, and Raquel Brown, as you mentioned, first time out of the box in TBL this year, but he's got a 5-3 record. He's having to warm up quickly because Carbonell's putting a lot of pressure on him.
A 1-2 double jab, coming back with that left hand from Carbonell. A little over a minute to go in the 14th round. The trick of the trade, Carbonell taking that forearm right underneath the neck of Brown on the clinch.
Brown has a really good sneaky right hand, and he's trying to land that on the inside against Carbonell.
Left counter landing from Isaac Carbonell. Brown, though, not knowing any direction but forward.
Carbonell's hand speed and combination punching has been an issue for Brown here in this match. There's a reason why Carbonell has that really good record in the TBL. He's just very adept, and he knows his format very well. He's able to be busy enough often to get decisions. There's an example of it.
Turns Brown around, comes through with a combo. And a round controlled by Isaac Carbonell. We'll see it again in the 23rd.
Yeah, that mini comeback by Atlanta is being stemmed. The tide is being stemmed by Miami, and Carbonell doing some really good work. We see that. And we talked about the hand speed of Carbonell and the ability to put punches together. Not everything landing, of course, there, but one or two getting in, and you know, he just did more work.
Team Boxing League fans, the winner of round 14 by way of unanimous decision. From the Miami Assassins, Isaac Carbonell.
Well, Miami's opened up an 8-point lead.
At cruiserweight for Atlanta, Money Powell. Miami, Yuneski Gonzalez.
And as we talked about a little bit earlier, Al, Money Powell competing at cruiserweight now in his 3rd season, going up against Yunieski Gonzalez, the first of 2 rounds between these 2 gentlemen tonight. And Atlanta has a lot of work to do if they want to get back into this one, down by 8.
And he did that in week 4. He went up to cruiserweight and was very crafty and very clever in the way he fought Yunieski Gonzalez. Now, can Gonzalez adapt to what he saw the first time against Powell?
Let's make sense of Money here at 3-0. Cruiserweight, 28 years of age. Member of the Team USA World Championships in Russia as an amateur. 78-inch reach.
And that bodes well for him going against a bigger fighter. Gonzalez, of course, the 40-year-old who has carved out so many exciting moments in team boxing, is just a very solid performer, couple-time challenger for the World Championship, who in this league has put together some very exciting fights. And he's being much more aggressive than he was in the first match against Powell. Powell kind of froze his offense, and not so much tonight.
Gonzalez not afraid to let it all go, put it out on the table, and see where the chips fall. He's a risk taker, and he can hurt opponents. So the 4th career meeting between these 2 in Team Boxing League. Powell's won 2 of them.
And even though Powell is jumping up in weight, he's not overpowered on the inside by Gonzalez. He's still able to get his work done and handle the power, the strength of him on the inside to a great degree. Though Gonzalez has done much better offensive work here than he did when they met in week 4.
Final minute to go in round 15.
And how much pressure does Money Powell feel to be more offensive-minded now in this last minute of the round, given where his team is sitting?
There's some wild slugging between these 2 cruiserweights. Funny, they get into a good flow, a good rally, and then they slow it down and go back to a cruiserweight chess match.
Yeah, a lot of posturing going on with teams. They both have big personalities.
A lot of posturing, but I'll tell you what, there's a lot of seconds to be bought to make an impression on what's kind of been a close round to judge.
Yeah, it has been, and both men have landed some good power shots. We saw Powell land a right hand of 20 seconds ago that was significant, and Gonzalez has landed his share. So it's going to be an interesting one for the judges to figure out. Powell, the fighter was born in Europe and He's just been a very solid pro and amateur, and taking on the bigger man and doing things like that right hand right near the end of the round.
Let's see how it was scored by the judges.
Team Boxing League fans, the winner of round 15 by way of unanimous decision from the Miami Assassins, Yuneski Gonzalez.
The Miami Corral pretty happy, 13-4, Assassins up.
Our final middle round will be in the heavyweight division. For Atlanta, it is Devon Young. For Miami, Nestor Santana.
We heard from Devon Young a little while ago with Avril Matthew. He's back in the TBL after missing all of 2025, 2-1 so far. There you see Nestor Santana has 2 wins to open up 2026, including earning a split decision win over Samuel Clarkson a couple of weeks ago.
Well, Devon Young, much better record at 21-7 than Santana, who is 7-14. But there you see some of the information on Devon Young.
21-7 in his TBL career. And he had a sensational 2024 campaign. 6'4" heavyweight from Aiken, South Carolina. Typically weighs in somewhere in the area of 215, 230.
He's not one of the bigger giant heavyweights in the TBL, but he more than gets the job done. And part of it is with the activity like that. Nestor Santana, an interesting guy who has lots of power, as he showed us with a big overhand right that knocked out Kenyon Walker in week 2, but sometimes just isn't active enough to get wins in the TBL, and sometimes it hampers him a little bit. I've done a number of his fights in pro boxing elsewhere. It hampers him a little bit there too.
Clock was stopped, and Young may be under the impression that the clock continued to run, but the referee trying to restore some order and control what's going on inside the ring, but the fighters want to be doing that.
And Devon Young has had Santana on his back foot for a lot of this round, more than Santana is used to, for sure. And Santana, when he scored that knockout over Kenyon Walker, was an overhand right, and he throws some of his punches from quite a distance away in terms of being roundhouse. And they're not getting there against Young.
Santana trying to dish out some punishment at close range. A minute to go in the middle rounds. Miami, if it had lost any ground, is certainly regaining any momentum that may have slipped maybe in the midway point of the middle rounds or near the end of the launch rounds when Atlanta won 2 straight. The attack came back to win rounds 11 and 12, but outside of that, Miami picking up some extra points from Darius Jackson in the 13th round, and the Assassins having their way up 13-4.
And that's what makes this the round so important for Devon Young. And he was clear in the interview he did that he wants to get in there and get this win because that's his job, whatever the team standings are. And of course, it would help his team to gain an extra point back.
Right hand moments ago from Young on a hold from Santana. And that'll be it.
Well, the right hand that Nestor Santana has, the big power, and didn't quite get there tonight. And Devon Young was more active. We'll see if that sways the judges.
Like we talked about, Young with a quick turnaround. He's back in action in the 19th round against Alonzo Neal. As it stands right now, this is it for Santana. His night would be over.
Team Boxing League fans, the winner of round 16 by way of unanimous decision. From the Atlanta Attack, Devon Young.
So Devon Young closes out what was a pretty disappointing middle rounds for the Atlanta Attack. They have some work to do. Down by 8. Plenty more to come, though, for them to make a dent in Miami's lead. We'll be back with more after this.
Thanks so much, Al. Glad to have you along with us for Team Boxing League tonight. And a lot of you are asking, hey, how can we tell other fans where to catch Team Boxing League action? Well, there are a number of places we can be seen. You can now watch us on MSG Networks and the Gotham Sports app, as well as on our home network, Envoy TV. Plus, the full season of Encores are on Envoy Fast every day. Just download the Envoy app. Connected TV users with Samsung, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, Roku, and LG devices can download the TBL app and watch both live action and play previous matches on demand. TBL is also seen on YouTube, the TBL app, and in Spanish on the Estrella Network.
Rounds are between the Miami Assassins and a 3-0 start to their season. They are in control 13-5 over the Atlanta Attack as we get set to bring you the money rounds from Fort Lauderdale. But first, back here in our TBL studios, it's Justin and Al with you. And I'll tell you what, Al, Miami's doing a great job halting any type of momentum that Atlanta's trying to muster up. You take a look at that middle rounds. Atlanta wins back-to-back rounds, and how does Miami respond? Extra points.
Yeah, twice in this match, Atlanta has looked like they're edging their way back into this, and then the minute they do, somebody shuts the door for Miami.
Now let's take a look at some of the highlights from the middle rounds. Beginning at super lightweight, it is round number 12. Ariel Davis certainly having Sofia Veretti's number here, and again, Ariel Davis, Al, is just levels above any other 140-pounder at the book.
Yeah, this was a match in which they felt Atlanta that the momentum could shift a little, and it did. Ariel Davis was able to get the win. Again, her third win this season over Veretti. But then came round 13 when this happened to Javon Davis. A straight left hand from Darius Jackson. His hand touched, his glove touched the mat. A 2-point victory that really flipped things for Miami.
So Atlanta needs something to happen here in the money rounds in terms of extra points. We also saw Money Powell and Unieski Gonzalez go at it in the middle rounds. I think there could be more in the tank for Money Powell because they're going to rematch here in round 22. It makes it a round to watch. It's going to be interesting to see how Powell adjusts after losing that prior round.
Yeah, in round 22 at the cruiserweight division, where Money Powell is now up fighting Gonzalez, you're right. That was a pretty close match between them. And if, in fact, this thing can get closer, Money Powell's the kind of guy that's capable of pulling off a win in that round to help his team.
All right, it's a big lead right now for Miami. We'll see if they can close it out or if Atlanta can narrow the gap. Let's start the money rounds. Round 17. Here's Ray Flores.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time to begin the money rounds between Atlanta and Miami. For Atlanta, Raul Garcia. For Miami, Yusmel Ruiz.
Garcia and Ruiz, a rematch from the launch rounds. Garcia took it by split decision, and that win for Garcia, who you see on your screen, put Atlanta on the board tonight. They have won a total of 5 rounds so far.
Yeah, all single point wins. And this one was a little bit surprising, I think, when the fight ended. It looked a little bit like Ruiz had done a little bit more of the solid job, but the judges favored Garcia. And we mentioned Garcia, a very solid professional who has done great work in the pro ranks outside of TBL.
So if you look at the money round lineup here, there is a path for Atlanta to certainly make some headway, because you have Garcia here, who beat Ruiz earlier tonight. Up next, Ariel Davis. Devon Young, who you just saw win round 16, is coming up in the 20th round. And then Jeremy Hill and Yosdil Napolis, they fought to a split decision. That was pretty close. And then you have Money Powell and Yunieski Gonzalez again, the round that we were talking about just moments ago.
Yeah, that is a path for them to get some momentum and maybe get back into the fray. And this one, very, very important. And Garcia, who is, you know, in his boxing career, is an aggressive fighter. He likes to come forward, and that's what he's doing now, and putting the pressure on. And he's a very good body puncher, and we're seeing some of that now against Ruiz. Now, Garcia usually fights at 154, 160, and he's up at 168, so we'll see how that impacts him. And it's part of the reason he's giving up so much height and reach to Ruiz.
A 5'10" Dominican native, 27 years of age. Began his pro career 12-0, fighting in the Dominican Republic. Since then, in traditional boxing, he's gone 3-3-1, but Garcia winning his TBL debut in the 7th round. Now he's going for a second win.
And he's pushing the pace more in the beginning of this round than he did in the first round against Ruiz. Ruiz still doing some pretty good work from the outside, but Garcia able to counter him more effectively.
Garcia with the look and the mood of a fighter who is controlling everything in the ring. If that's actually the case, we shall see, because we have a knockdown.
Interesting. I'm not sure where that came from.
I mean, that was less than a flash knockdown.
Yeah. Well, that's a big, big moment in this, not only this round, but in this match.
We talked about that path for Atlanta at the start of this round. That was a huge roadblock put up by Ruiz in Miami.
Well, was it ever? And Ruiz now getting very offensive and emboldened by that knockdown, even though Garcia certainly wasn't hurt in any way. And with just seconds remaining, the good start that Garcia had to this round evaporated with that flash knockdown.
Two fighters essentially pawing with one another in terms of how the punches are landing. So that is a pretty big round for Miami to open up the money rounds. We'll take a look at the knockdown in the 17th.
Well, we'll see just what happened here. It was hard to discern. That in no way looks like a knockdown to me, but let's take a look again. Yeah, I think they were just off balance. There was a right hand that landed, and Garcia lunged in and held on, but then just was off balance from it. So, referee's decision.
Team Boxing League fans, the winner of round 17 by way of unanimous decision. 2 points going to Miami's Yusmel Ruiz. Round 18 at super lightweight for Atlanta, Ariel Davis. For Miami, Sofia Veretti.
So Miami now with its largest lead, 10-point cushion, with Ariel Davis fighting for Atlanta against Sofia Veretti. Second time that these two women are fighting one another. Davis took round 12 by unanimous decision.
And now, of course, Atlanta needs knockouts. And this is one of those matches in which Ariel Davis may say to herself, I landed some big, powerful right hands. Maybe I need to try and take Sofia Veretti out.
Taking a look at fighters when it comes to net points per round. And courtesy of TBOstats.com. Good way to measure the fighter's value.
Yeah, and that shows
right there.
Yeah, with the one knockout of Jenny Smith and winning all those other matches, that she has a very good net points per round, and she'd love to up that right now with at least with a 2-point win, and hopefully from her standpoint a 4-point win. But you know, Sofia Veretti's been in there for with her for 3 rounds and has taken some big punches, not gone down.
Yeah, she's been durable. Hasn't really come close to looking like she would beat her.
No, you're right. I mean, and taking some big shots from Davis.
Sharp jab from Davis. Another one.
You know, Davis in her, Veretti in her TBL careers faced Brianna Carrera and Ariel Davis. She's run through the gauntlet.
Not an easy
really
intro to Team Boxing League.
Yeah. Well, Davis is, we mentioned she fights at her pace, and that's what she's doing now, but we'll see if there's some urgency. She lands a nice right hand.
Good combo unleashed by Ariel Davis.
She is such an effective body puncher. You know, that should never get overlooked with her because it's one of her great skills. Veretti landing a nice right hand. That's the best punch she's landed in the 3 fights she's had with Davis.
Final 30 between Davis and Veretti. Miami so far has won 12 of the 17 rounds that have been completed, featuring 3 knockdowns. And Davis peppering Veretti along the ropes as the seconds wind down here in the 18th. Flips the body, partially blocked by Veretti's left glove. So it looks to be another win for Ariel Davis. It would be her 26th in her TBL career, but again, Atlanta needing extra points.
And, you know, here's the action from that round where Davis landed powerful punches, including a jab, which was a power jab. She throws a jab with bad intentions, and that was the sequence in which Davis did such excellent body work. When these two teams last met in week 4, there were 3 knockdowns for Miami, 2 for Atlanta. Tonight, the power's been all with Miami.
Round 18 by way of unanimous decision from the Atlanta Tech, Ariel Davis. For Miami, Alonzo Neal.
All right, let's see if Devon Young's philosophy is accurate. He's hot. Competed in round 16. This is round 19. There is Alonzo Neal, who you saw in the 8th round in a very entertaining round of boxing against Samuel Clarkson. And let's go back to Avril Matthews with one of the more accomplished featherweights in the young season, Samantha Sosa for Miami.
That's right, I am ringside with Samantha Sosa, who normally fights in the 118-pound division. Tonight, she stepped up to the 126-pound division, and with a few accurate power shots in the middle of that round, you completely changed the momentum of the fight. Did you know that you had that kind of power and could hang in the bigger weight classes?
Yes, definitely. I was always known for my power, even though I was at a lower weight class, and I stepped up for a higher division because my opponent pulled out.
Congratulations, it was awesome to see. This is your first win in TBL. Your team is absolutely dominating tonight. Do you feel like the energy from your team's momentum helped you to get the win tonight?
Definitely. I feel like my team, like boxing's a very lonely sport, so TBL making this like a team sport makes it like more motivating and more like energizing, and makes you want to like look your best up there.
Awesome. Well, congratulations. Guys, take us back to the ring.
Thanks so much. I love what Samantha Sosa said right there. The team aspect of this all, it's very much like passing the baton. You don't want to look worse than what your team's already put forward. You don't want to be the one that drops the ball.
Yeah, it's a fascinating concept, alien to the world of boxing because it is such a singular sport, as you pointed out. You know, Alonzo Neal, who came in, a 28-year-old who made his debut in TBL in his last fight and didn't, last round, didn't win it, but, you know, he's in there now with somebody who's a very active puncher, and Neal had a hard time getting started in the last round, and that's plaguing him a little bit in this one as well. Normally on the inside, Alonzo Neal is a very active body puncher, not so tonight.
You got clipped with a 2-punch combo from Young moments before that clinch. Under a minute now in the 19th round as Young looks for his second victory tonight.
You know, it's not as if he hasn't done well in round 1. 3 of his 4 wins as a pro have come by first-round knockouts. So Neal's had his moments where he's been good early in a match, but not so much tonight.
You're a 6'6" heavyweight, 28 years of age. Relocated to Philadelphia over the last year or two. He's working with one of the better trainers in the Philly area, Stephen Edwards.
Yeah, the bread man, he knows his way around the boxing ring as a trainer, that's for sure. Devin Young is just, he's a good craftsman in the ring, you know, and that's why he's got this good TBL record. He just knows how to get it done in there.
Well, night 1 on the job in Team Boxing League for Alonzo Neal. It results in a bloody nose. We'll see how the judges scored round number 19.
Team Boxing League fans, the winner of round 19 by way of split decision. From the Miami Assassins, Alonzo Neal. Round 20 at lightweight. For Atlanta, it is Desmond Lyons. For Miami, Claudio Marrero.
Miami's lead back to 10 with Marrero and Lyons stepping into the ring, a pair of 135-pounders following the heavyweights.
I think that was a seminal moment in this match, because that was a fight that could have gone either way, obviously, and the fact that it didn't result in a win for Atlanta puts them in just such a precarious situation.
Yeah, you wonder if that breaks the team spirit, not so much the individual fighters and how they perform, but thinking whether or not they can make this entire comeback over the next 5 rounds. Might be tough.
Desmond Lyons doing now in the beginning of this round what he's very much capable of doing. He can be a very good boxer puncher who throws multiple shots, and he's doing that against Marrero early in this round. That's not easy to do against Claudio Marrero.
Lyons lost his earlier round to Napoles. He lost a pair of rounds in the first meeting between Atlanta and Miami, including one to Marrero.
Yeah, these guys know each other in the ring. And the quick start by Lyons in this round now kind of muted a little bit by Marrero, but he lands a real nice right hand there.
Each fighter turning it up, punching with one another. Marrero got a left hand as Lyons threw a right.
Marrero has a terrific right hook, and it's what helped him score a stoppage in TBL this year. But he just landed it, but it hasn't been in the, well, there he is trying it again. And he throws that punch. It makes him dangerous as an offensive fighter.
There's a big thud on that right hand. Might have caught the shoulder mostly of Desmond Lyons, but it was a connect. Grabs the right hand to the body. Another one there for Marrero. Final 30 seconds. Miami's ahead 16-6 in the overall score. Looking to improve to 3-0.
And a quick early start by Desmond Lyons, I think, has evaporated a little bit in this round. This with Marrero mostly coming forward, and while Lyons has been able to land some good counter punches, not a lot.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of round 20 by way of split decision from the Atlanta Attack, Desmond Lyons.
So a split decision goes Atlanta's way. They do have some work left to do if they want to come back. A late rally, could it be in the cards? Miami ahead 16-7.
Returns here to the Memorial Auditorium here in Fort Lauderdale. It is Las Vegas meetings on Friday night, and then Miami will host Boston next Saturday, bell times at 7 p.m. Tickets are available at teamboxingleague.com.
Four more rounds to go on a Friday night in South Beach. The hometown Assassins in complete control right now over Atlanta, 16-7. Back to the action, round 21. Here's Ray Flores.
Round 21 at lightweight for Atlanta, Jeremy Hill. Miami, Yostiela Napoles.
Jeremy Hill getting ready for a second round of work tonight. He beat Claudio Marrero by split decision in round 11. Napoles, meanwhile, won over Desmond Lyons via split decision way back in the launch rounds. Look, Miami jumped out of the gates, up 7-0. Atlanta won a couple of rounds in a row in two separate instances, and right away Miami slammed the door in terms of Atlanta picking up any momentum. Extra points scored by Darius Jackson after Atlanta had won rounds 11 and 12. And Miami has built this lead up to as many as 10 points, right now ahead by 9.
Yeah, and Jeremy Hill, who, as we pointed out, a very solid professional outside of TBL, got that close win in his first effort in team boxing.
Oh, big right hand. Napoles whacks Hill. He wore it well.
Yeah, Napoles has a great right hand, but Hill has been in with big punchers. You know, we mentioned the Malik Montgomery fight and against other top fighters as well, in and around the 130 to 135 pound division. So not an easy man to hurt. And Napoles, who had his string of wins stopped by, or rather, Hill was able to get a win, not against him, but was it?
Oh, right. There we go. Right hand over the top from Napoles. That one sends Hill to the canvas. My, oh my. Napoles may have put this one to bed with that swinging right.
Never underestimate the right-handed power of Napoles. It has really come to the forefront in TBL.
I don't know if Hill is on steady legs at the moment now.
No, and boy, to get him in this trouble is very tough, as I pointed out. A lot of great pros have not.
Over a minute to play with for Napoles. Miami with a comfortable lead, but you want to score as many points every single night in Team Boxing League. It can all come back to help you later on.
What a year Napoles is having here. Undefeated still in TBL with knockdowns and knockouts.
Keep an eye on that right hand. Final 30 seconds. Napoles using the jab. Maybe, perhaps, trying to set up that right hand to follow. It's the punch that knocked Hill down. He fell forward earlier here in the 21st round.
It's interesting, Hill a pursuer, but he's running into danger if one of those right hands comes out again.
Literally ran through one a moment ago. And Yostiela Napoles recording a knockdown here in the 21st round. Extra points for the Assassins.
There was the patented right hand that we've come to know from Napoles, and he throws it straight. Sometimes he throws it a little wider like that one, but boy, when they get home, they do damage, and he understands it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of round 21 by way of unanimous decision. 2 points going to Miami's Yostiela Napoles. Round 22 in the cruiserweight division. For Atlanta, Money Pound, Miami Yuneski Gonzalez.
Round 22, Money Powell, Unieski, Gonzalez going at it yet again. Powell and Gonzalez fought in round 15. Unieski winning a close round.
And this was a round that we marked down as a round to watch, thinking, honestly, that things might be a little closer at this point than they are. And the Money Powell, as we said, stepping up to cruiserweight. He did well against Gonzalez in week 4, but lost that close decision to him earlier this evening.
Miami taking the wind out of Atlanta's sail here in the money rounds. A pair of extra point wins for Annapolis and Ruiz. Money Powell with some big connects. A left hand hammers Unieski Gonzalez.
Well, he's certainly capable of it. At the top of the show, we talked about his big knockout win over Shamar Butler, and that was a very impressive win for him, a 4-pointer.
Getting out of the way.
And of course, Gonzalez knows only one way, and that is to come forward. He would come forward with that kind of shell defense and look for his opportunities.
See a punch like that, a move like that from Powell, where he just holds the jab out, doesn't follow it with anything. And he forces Gonzalez to trip a little bit. So now Gonzalez running toward the top.
It almost feels like Money Powell's in the 4-cornered offense right now for his team. Which is not to say he wants to give fights away by any stretch, but he's going to be a little more cautious and tactical given the situation for his team at this point, just because, you know, they're getting to the end here.
Well, he landed probably the most impressive and accurate sequence of punches early in the round.
Yeah.
And since then, it's as if he felt like he banked around with those punches.
Yeah, maybe.
He's been on the bike since.
Yeah. I guess that's what you do in the 4-corner offense, isn't it? You think you've got a lead and you stay with it. Now, Money Powell was happy after the first time he fought Gonzalez, and that didn't turn out to go well for him. And that was the awkward action in which Gonzalez ended up on the ropes, but certainly not from a knockdown.
Fight fans, the winner of round 22 by way of split decision from the Atlanta Tag, Money Powell.
That early burst got him in the round, didn't it?
Our penultimate money round will be in the light heavyweight division. For Atlanta, Raquel Brown. For Miami, Isaac Carbonell.
Second to last round, number 23. Miami has the matchup clinched, up 10 points with 2 rounds to go. Raquel Brown, Isaac Carbonell fighting for a second time tonight. They met in round 14. And as these two light heavyweights go at it, Avril Matthew ringside with a special guest. Avril, what do you got?
I am here ringside with assistant head coach Anthony Lynn of the Washington Commanders and former Super Bowl champion. What brings you here tonight?
Well, I was on a plane coming out to Miami for some business, and I met a young man, R.J. Lewis, and he told me about the boxing, the whole concept. I thought it was cool as hell, and he invited me out, so I came out. It's my first match.
Well, welcome. What do you think of the action so far?
You know what? I can't believe that I hadn't been to one of these before. I mean, this is unbelievable. I mean, I'm used to team sports, and now boxing is a team sport. This has been really exciting tonight.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask you, as a team sport coach, seeing boxing being turned into a team sport, do you love it or what?
I do. I love it, and I think it was a genius idea. Yeah. And
do you use any boxing training for any of your players?
Well, you know, all football players think they can box. We respect boxers a lot. We look up to boxers, and we do it in the off season. We do train with boxing a little bit, especially the defensive linemen, because they have to be good with the hands.
Love to hear it. Guys, take us back to the ring.
Thanks so much, Avril. Great words from Anthony Lynn, two-time Super Bowl champion. I love how all athletes feel that they can box. I don't think it's just football players.
Yeah, that's true, right. Football players have a history of getting in the ring, but so do other athletes as well.
Nice endorsement, though, from the former head coach of the LA Chargers, right now one-game coordinator with the Washington Commanders. A little over a minute to go here in the 23rd round between Brown and Carbonell.
Carbonell continuing the pressure that he put on when they first met. This one, I think, has been a little bit tighter even, but Carbonell's been pretty aggressive with his offense. And very active indeed. And, seeking his 25th win in team boxing, which is pretty extraordinary.
A little over 30 seconds to go in this 23rd round. Miami on the way from becoming the first TBL team to 3-0 in 2026. Philadelphia Smoke can join them if they get a win tomorrow as they host the New York City Attitude. Week 6 coverage continuing.
And boy, we did not expect to feel like this one was this much in the bag at this point, did we? And now Carbonell is putting a exclamation mark on it.
He is. The sequence, it looked like it started with a punch behind the head. And Carbonell wants none of the sportsmanship from Raquel Brown.
They're a little testy, I think, about the way things have gone.
The bunny punch and what it led to.
Punch behind the head probably didn't help either. And yeah, Carbonell punctuating this victory with a great sequence. And he could well have a 2-win night.
Boxing League fans, the winner of round 23 by way of unanimous decision from the Miami Assassins, Isaac Carbonell. Our final money round will be at super welterweight. For Atlanta, Amin Mitchell. Miami, Yoelis Molina.
24th and final round of the night as Amin Mitchell enters the ring. And Yoelis Molina already in the ring, ready to go. Amin Mitchell was in action in round number 5 against Molina. Split decision going toward the Miami Cubans' way. Molina picking up the win. At that point, it made it 6-0 Miami. The Assassins jumped out to a 7-0 lead. They had another sizable lead of 9-2. Stretched the lead to over 10 at this point, 19-8.
And remember at the point when they had their first match, Amin Mitchell looked like the guy that could have maybe turned the tide for them. He came into it having had a very good season already in season 4, and they rightfully probably felt optimistic that he could turn the ship around a little bit, but it didn't work out that way. That was his first loss of this season, so he's hoping to get it back on the winning side now.
Conversely, Molina picked up his first win of the season. An 11-year age gap between the two fighters. Mitchell 33, Molina 22.
Molina was able to land a couple of really nice overhand lefts against Mitchell in that first encounter. This Miami team showing a lot of depth with a lot of these fighters originally from Cuba, of course, who are working their way as pros. And I've announced a number of their fights in the pro ranks outside of TBL, and they're all talented young fighters who have a lot of confidence in themselves.
A lot of them have great pedigrees from the amateur ranks as well in Cuba. They stay busy.
And Herman Caicedo, a very, very good coach. Mitchell switching to righty now, which he does from time to time. You didn't see it in the first fight, but here it is.
So Miami will improve to 3-0. They'll be back at it again next week. They'll be home again facing the Boston Butchers. So it's a team that's rolling and can stay in a rhythm.
Not much to cheer about on that Atlanta sideline in their corral tonight. And this one, Molina, left-hander who could throw pretty good combinations, reeling a little bit of one of them off there.
Let's get the ruling for the final round of the night.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of round 24 by way of unanimous decision from the Miami Assassins, Yoelis Molina.
So Molina picks up another victory, caps it off for Miami, who comes away with a third win of the year. They are 3-0, and they beat Atlanta decisively, 20-8, the final. Fight honors and reaction when we come back. Team Boxing League is brought to you by Balance of Nature. In boxing, consistency beats intensity. Balance of Nature supplements help you stay consistent with ingredients of whole foods you can easily slot into your daily routine. Go to balanceofnature.com, use code TEAM, and start today. The Miami Assassins 3-0 after a 20-8 victory over Atlanta in Fort Lauderdale. Let's go back inside the ring with Ray Flores.
Ladies and gentlemen, your final score, the Miami Assassins 20, the Atlanta Attack 8. Let's take a look at your 3 stars of the fight. Your number 3 star, Atlanta Attack super lightweight, Ariel Davis. Your number 2 star, Miami Assassins welterweight, Darius Jackson. Balance of Nature, first star of the night, Miami Assassins featherweight, Victor Abreu. And finally, your round of the night, round number 15, Money Powell and Yuneski Gonzalez.
Coach, great win tonight. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, yeah.
Last time you guys fought Atlanta, it was much closer. How do you feel like the hometown atmosphere tonight helped your team?
Well, it's always good to fight at home, obviously, for obvious reasons. Atlanta's a tough team. Sam coaches his team real well. They got some really good superstars on that team. You can never count them out. We really prepared for this home fight against, the Atlanta Attack, and it was obvious, it showed tonight that we came a little more prepared.
I know you're probably not looking past Boston next week, but both Philly and Miami are undefeated this season, and you're going to come up against them on May 17. What are you doing to prepare the team to make sure that you get that win and stay undefeated?
Well, I got a grudge with Philly. We lost in the finals in our second season, and I'm still pissed off. So, we're working as hard as we can work day in, day out. I'm sure, Bob's going to have his team fully prepared for us. He's watching right now, probably. We're coming for you, Bob. We're coming for you, Philly. We're just going to keep doing what we're doing, training hard every week, every day, basically, and looking forward to Boston absolutely next week. Not looking past them because they're a well-prepared team also. So after Boston, we'll focus on Philly, but definitely in the sights.
Awesome. Well, let's go Miami. Woo! Darius, congratulations. Second star of the night tonight. Last time you guys fought Atlanta, you fought the same opponent as tonight, and you had a win and a loss.
A win and a learning.
A win and a learning. I like that. But tonight you had a very decisive victory. What did you change to prepare for tonight to make sure you got a really good win?
Well, that's why I called it a learning. Right there. Didn't really change too much, but I studied the last fight. I seen what I did good, seen what I did bad, or seen what I didn't like, but made those adjustments and kept to my game plan. Got the work done, you see?
And that you did. Congratulations. Oh, hello.
Miami, gracias por asistir todos los que están aquí esta noche. Muchas gracias. Nada, el sábado que viene nos volvemos a enfrentar aquí frente a Boston, y quiero que todos los que están aquí nos sigan apoyando y nos vemos el sábado, si es posible.
Victor, first star of the night tonight. You've been fighting in Team Boxing League this is your 3rd season, and it's your first time getting star of the night. What does it mean to you?
No, yo llevo 3 años peleando aquí y me he adaptado bien al sistema de Team Boxing League, y trabajando en el gimnasio siempre sale el resultado.
It's 3rd year that he's competed under the Team Boxing League banner. He's very excited. He works very hard day in, day out. So he's adapted to the style and the speed and the ferociousness of one-round fighting, and he's happy to be a part of it.
And you do have some crazy power. Where did that come from?
Trabajando en el gimnasio, el entrenador Germán Caicedo, preparador físico Yuga, y no dejo de entrenar día a día me sacrifico bastante para sacar el resultado.
Trains in every day, very hard. You know, he doesn't stop. I can attest to that. I'm his coach, and he puts in the work. So that's where it comes from. He's got good timing. But 100%, you know, he's dedicated to what he's doing, and that's really what it takes, is the dedication and the commitment.
Well, congratulations. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Thank you, he says.
And let's take it back to the studio, guys.
We needed that last translation from Herman Caicedo. We appreciate it. So head coach, trainer, interpreter as well. Let's go to the Balance of Nature star of the fight. It is the gentleman that you just heard from, Victor Abreu. And Abreu setting the tone in round 2 out with one singular punch.
Yeah, nice right hand. He's a pressure fighter, and when he gets you against the ropes, he's going to make things happen, and he did there, and then got a second win as well.
And that made it 3-0 out of the gates for Miami. They started up winning 7-0 to start these launch rounds. I tell you what, Avril was talking about it with Herman there. April 19th, Miami wins 20-14. Felt closer than that score. Tonight they win 20-8. Didn't feel as lopsided as 20-8.
Yeah, you know, they had 3 rounds in which they got 2 points. Atlanta didn't have any rounds in which they got 2 points. And there were 3.3 instances in this competition in which Atlanta had 2 wins in a row, looked like they were building momentum, and Miami snatched it back.
So Miami becomes the first TBL team to 3 wins. They're now 3-0. And again, they'll be in action later on next week against Boston. And if all things stay the way they are right now, in 2 weeks' time, it'll be Miami and Philadelphia on a collision course. Of course, things have to happen between now and then, including tomorrow, where Philadelphia is back in action. So on May 7th, TBL Team Boxing League returns to Pennsylvania for another action-packed matchup. Jesse Hart and the Philadelphia Smoke look to keep their streak alive as they take on Natalie Zempoteke and the New York City Attitude, the defending TBL champs. It's an East Coast showdown of 24 rounds at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, right here with Team Boxing League. Miami beats up Atlanta 20-8, the final. For Avor Matthew, for Al Bernstein and our entire TBL crew, I'm Justin Shackle. Enjoy the rest of your Friday night. Week 6 coverage continues tomorrow.